And now we are back. We are back, ready to go. You got my man, Harold Dennis. Yes, thank you guys so much for actually being with us today. We're going to see if this actually makes it a little bit better for you guys. And hopefully it does. It should be a little solid now in regards to the connection. But thank you guys so much for being with us. My producers, everybody says, I think we are good to go. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it on, man. All right. So, you know, it's good because when you're acting, you definitely want to make sure that you want people to feel you're in the same room as far as with them. And I think that's the cool thing that's why I love movies, right? Because I always want to feel like I'm actually either a superhero with them, or if I actually want to laugh, like, man, like you my best pal, right? My best friend. Over time, when you were actually, with the techniques and learning, what feedback did you get from your teachers in order to better enhance your abilities to really because there's different roles that you play, right? Yes. When you play different roles, is there a specific role that you started off with, like, man, I think I'm going to do this forever? Or is there a specific role, say, hey, just give me whatever you got?
I work for IMDb. I want IMDb credits. I want pay.
I love that.
And so I've played all types of characters. And for one stint, I was getting cast as the bad guy all the time. I'm like, why am I getting cast as the bad guy? And I think it was this. I don't know what it was. But yeah, that came across, and I was like, I want hero roles. Yeah. I want lead actor roles. Yeah. And so, but the feedback that I get from, working in class is, okay, Harold, you got techniques, drop the techniques. My mentor, Ted Sarantos, used to say, okay, Harold, now your turn to come on up in front of the class. What I want you to do is blow us away. Don't drop the techniques, just blow us away. We just want to see performance. And so I worked on that for years and years. And so, nice. And then the guy I'm was studying with, John Swanbeck out in LA on Zoom last year. He teaches you to become a cinematic actor. Okay. Work on becoming an A-list actor. And I was like, I bought his book, his small book, and the quotes he put on social media, and it's philosophy. At this point now, it's philosophy. It's not techniques. It's a way of thinking. And so I just drop everything and read the script, think about things, and then forget everything and now perform. Yeah.
I like that, man. That is so cool. I mean, it's just when you're actually in, once you're actually in like the script itself, and there's just certain things that brings certain like how can I say this? As an actor, do you ever feel like when you actually have a script that when you're walking down the street, do you ever feel like that person that you was acting in the movie?
Like I said, I used to play a lot of bad guys. Back
in not like a bad guy,
early 2000s. And so, I'd have to be raging, quietly raging. And so when it was all over, said and done, I would still go home and still be mad. What's going on? And so you found out you have to let that go at cut, it's a wrap, Right. Let it go, and I don't, like I said, I've trained Meisner and other different techniques and how the moment before and all of that, feel it before you walk out on the stage, get there before the camera starts rolling. Yes, sir. And all of that. And so it's let it go when it's time to let it go. I don't walk around set all day in that, cut is gone. I'm laughing, or chilling by myself. Yeah. And then when there's action, I take a moment, go back there, and deliver.
Yeah, I like that, man. I like that. That's cool. That's cool because, sometimes you just feel inspired. Sometimes you feel like, man, I just wish that I can just go ahead and do some things, like I did in the movie, right? But of course, that's why we have Halloween. Halloween comes and, we want to act as the bad guy. I was a Joker last year and I took it too far. I took it too far just thinking I was a Joker. You know what I mean? And sometimes being in that character just makes you feel that way, But I know as an actor, I know sometimes like you may be going to sleep and you're like, man, I got to remember these lines. So I have to. And when I wake up, I want to make sure I'm still the same
Sleeping on the script.
Right, sleeping on the script as well too. Yes. So, which goes to my next thing, Second City. So we talk about Second City, which is here, of course, here in Chicago. And what did you learn? Well, we did talk about how you were learning as far as the technique in regards to Second City. But what do you have as far as some good memories within Second City as far as you coming up in your acting career?
Well, I was there for 2 years teaching before they closed the doors during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I was teaching acting on camera. And it was a great opportunity to get in there and get the Second City credibility, the Second City experience.
Yes.
Years before, I was on set with the guy that retired from Second City, and I thought to myself, just a few years, it'd be nice to take classes for free at Second City.
Yeah.
Then I was doing my own workshops, and I was featured on WGN, and then a filmmaker that I knew, he called and says, Harold, how would you like to teach at Second City? I was like, heck yeah, set it up.
Right.
And so I met one of the directors down at the Starbucks downstairs and had a quick chat, and I was hired. And so that was a great experience. And he says, well, you have to learn the Second City way, so we want you to take classes. I was like, classes for free. Let's do it. Let's do it. And so I took the Improv for Actors 1 and 2, the stand-up 1, and that was hard. And I was like,
the stand-up?
I needed to work on my funny as an actor.
Yeah.
Right? And so it took me a year to take the stand-up 2, but I did it, and I'm glad I did. There's a YouTube video out there, Harold Dennis stand-up.
Yep, I saw that.
Check it out.
Yes, I saw it.
And so teaching there, I had the opportunity to work with students from around the country because everybody comes to Second City. A lot of people come from all over the place. They want that Second City training, and they want to learn how to act on camera, and so they study with me. And I had a TA working with me, so he shot and edited. And all I had to do was teach and direct because I kept them busy those 8 weeks. I mean, they walk away with a monologue, a 2-person scene, and then we shot a 13-page scene, all within 7 weeks. Yeah. And they get the copy in the 8th week, and we have a party afterwards. And the students were very happy. And so that was a confidence builder for me as an instructor. I've been doing workshops for years, but it was nice to do that. And so I would say that my experience there was a growth experience, and to be a instructor there was credible for me, and the classes were something that helped propel me, especially the screenwriting introduction to it, the screenwriting one in the lab. I walked away with a short film. The body movement class was good, the improv classes. Because like I said, I was such a dramatic actor for 15 years.
Wow.
And I was like, I need some comedy.
Right.
And it definitely helped.
Right. Yeah. I think, and I think that's the reason why I asked that question about, what role do you really play? Or because sometimes it just sticks to you. Like people just want to see that role because you play it so well.
The class I was sitting in last night, the 3-hour class,
Sure.
the guy's from New York, and he's got classes in San Francisco, LA. He wants to create one here.
Yeah.
And he was, after I did my monologue, he gave me some feedback saying that he saw me, I said I have an Othello monologue, but he saw me doing a different Shakespearean monologue. Because what I did was I envisioned tears coming from an audience, and everybody in the room felt something, and that's a technique as well.
Yeah.
But he saw me playing a heroic character with flaws, which is that's what I'm looking forward to. So he saw it and he co-signed on it, and so those are the roles that I'm looking for. That main character that the audience wants to follow from beginning to wrap to end. Yeah,
that's cool. And you're gonna get there, man. I mean, you definitely gonna get there. I mean, you definitely have the talent. Like I said, when I saw your reel, I loved it, man. I loved the reel, but I loved exactly how many roles that you actually played within those reels. It's within that reel. I was like, man, this brother's talented. I was like, man, I love it, man, because it was so many different scenes, and that's cool because it's kind of like for us too, it's like a sizzle reel, right? The sizzle reel. So for you guys, it's like the demo reel where you send this out and then people can see exactly your style and based off of what you're auditioning for, right? Yeah. So I really love that, man. So man, congratulations on that. Second City, of course, is, there's a lot of people I know that actually went to Second City. When you said you were teaching, how many students did you actually teach at a time? Oh, I should say, let's make it even better. What was your biggest class?
14 students.
14 students.
Yep. So the 13-page script was 7 characters, so we got to shoot it twice. I remember that. And there were 12 students. On the low one term, it was 7 students, and we worked. So, it was great. I don't think they would do a class unless it was at least 7. So I hit the bare minimum one time.
I see.
And the rest have been 10, 12, 14, which it doesn't matter to me. Size doesn't matter because they're going to get the same amount of training with 14 or 7. And what I did was I not only taught acting on camera in the frame type of thing, nose to the camera, smile and eye, talk to the microphone, that type of thing, find some business to lead you back to the camera, and so forth and so on. But I also taught these techniques that I mentioned that I learned, and so I got actors. And my teacher, Ted Sarantos, coined it as magical acting, whereas we get an audience to get involved. And so they walked away with a whole lot, and I was getting great write-ups.
That's great,
reviews,
man. Man, that's what I'm talking about. Some people can act, and some people can teach. It's not very often. I don't know if you've seen this, where trying to do both is pretty hard. Because even though you're good at acting, sometimes people are not good with people, right? And you definitely have both of them because you understand, the roots of it, right? You understand what it needs to become a great actor or an actress, right? Based off of the role. When you were teaching with a certain type of, was it suspense? Was it drama? Was it comedy? Which one really stood out for you that you love teaching?
Teaching is a flat plane.
Okay.
And it's the type of a person that comes into the class, advanced,
yes,
medial, and beginner.
Yeah.
And that's what I was looking for in the person when they come to my workshops, come to class.
Yeah.
So I basically always start off with monologues.
Nice.
Like this guy did with me last night. He wanted to see where I was at. And so after listening to the monologue, I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's missing? What's missing? Could be nothing missing.
Right.
What's missing? But I asked that question so that I can see where it is that I could benefit the person.
Yeah.
And some people, they are truly at the beginning, and so and not even familiar with the monologue that they just worked. And so I'll do something like, okay, let's get it out loud and fast, faster.
Yeah.
Let's do it again, faster. Finish it up in 15 seconds.
Right.
I don't care if I understand every word. Just get it out. Okay, I even pull out the timer. It's serious.
Yeah.
And so then that's a way to get familiar with it and to get away from trying to say the words a certain way, And so now it's like, now I'm free. I've freed up myself to allow it to just happen organically.
Yeah.
And advanced people, they come in. I'm like, wow, that was great. We're done, But let's try it a little differently. Try this, the intending dreams, things, the opposites, the secrets. Yeah.
I like that, man. Bro, you got style, bro. You got style. You definitely have style. And the one thing I love about it is because I'm a dance teacher, right? So I teach, it's diversity. I mean, Latin dance teacher, salsa, merengue, bachata. So when I'm teaching, I have to be kind of what you're being analytical. You have to look at what can people do in a certain amount of time, right? And I love it that you actually speed it up after a while because it gets their mind kind of accurate to say, hey, you know what? I got just this amount of time to be able to get my words out right, even though it might not come out right, but at least I'm trying to get 80% of it right? And I really love as far as the way that, that you're doing as well too. I am going to give you guys I got to give some shout outs because there's people that's here that's loving it, right? And thanks to my producers out there. What's up, Donna Marie Bird? John T. for Free is checking in. Hello, Kathy Carlson, the talent agent. Thank you so much for tuning in as well. We have none other than Jacqueline Murphy. Thank you so much for checking in. Ashton Smith is checking in, and thank you guys so much, man. It's a lot of people that's checking in right now, but of course you already know I got my man Harold Dennis here with us on the Rico No Suave show, the awesome actor. Yes, we just got to talking about how, if you're just now tuning in, we just actually start talking a little bit about how he got started and his training, and as well as, you know, Second City and him being a teacher as well, and then getting those free classes. I mean, free classes are good. Free classes are good. You know what? We're gonna go to a quick commercial break, everybody. We're gonna do a commercial break a little bit early, real quick. So this is our social media. We'll be back in 30 seconds. My man Harold Dennis with us. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It's my man. You already know Harold Dennis is here, the actor. You having a good time so far?
I'm having a great time.
Man, you so smooth, man. You so smooth. I'm telling you. Hey, you got. I told Marquise Martin Hayes this as well too, because he did like a 007, you know, picture. I was like, man. I said, man, Harold Dennis might got you beat now. I mean, he's real smooth, you know.
That wasn't an inexpensive headshot.
No,
neither one of them.
Yeah, I know. You guys do spend money, and definitely it's always good to invest in something that's going to pay off in the long run. So, but man, I'm happy to have you here. So let's talk about the acting scene real quick. I mean, the Chicago acting scene, and what is your favorite part about being in the Chicago acting scene?
They're doing a lot of filming here, you know, and well, minus the strike that's happening right now.
Sure.
There's a lot of filming that happens in Chicago. A lot of TV shows come and go under the radar. You know, your agents know about it, but they come in, they're shooting pilots, and then you get a call, and, you know, you're in there, and you're like, wait a minute, Spike Lee's in the room. How did this happen? You know, all types of things. It's always happening here in Chicago. Tyler Perry will send somebody up with a video camera, which happened to me about 10 years ago. And I was like, I don't know how I got this audition. I don't know who the audition is for, but I'm here. And I saw my girl Marissa I said, Marissa, how did you find out about this? She says, I don't know. And it was somebody from Tyler Perry Studios down in Atlanta. I'm like, wow. And so, you know, there's a lot of things happening. You're always surprised. There's a lot of networking. There's a lot of events. Tons of film festivals. You can get out and meet people. A lot of organizations, and you know, I joined a few organizations, and I volunteer festivals, and I move around a lot. There's something to do every week.
Yeah, I like that. You know, I like that piece because I'm a big independent film. I love independent films as well too, and I just love sometimes the reality behind it of the independent films. So with the whole Chicago, the scene itself, you know, I'm sure you met a lot of great actors, a lot of great producers as well. With Chicago, as far as being kind of, I wouldn't say, you know, we're not even close to, you know, being Hollywood. Where do you see from when you started and actually getting into the scene with Chicago? What were some of the changes? Were there any changes that you actually saw during your way coming up? So,
yeah, when I first started, there was Perform Inc., a print paper that would list a lot of theater production auditions, and here and there I'd find a film audition, and there was no internet, right?
Yeah.
There was no Google.
Yeah.
There was no YouTube, and so I was a true hustling guy, wanting to find my way.
Yeah.
You know? And everybody's road is different, because mine was like this.
Yeah.
But it was mine, and you know. And so I used to go down to Columbia College, put my headshot up on the wall in
Nice.
the film department. 'Cause one thing one of my teachers said, he says, do the student films. They grow up to be filmmakers, and it's true. You know, it might take you a few years, but they do. So it's changed because there are more organizations, there are more film clubs, there are more studios, there are more shows. The city's growing in the film community. More black folks are building studios here. One's coming up on 79th by Stony Island over there.
Wow.
You know, they've got the plans. Common was supposed to be filming, creating a studio, you know, and others. My boy Chris Adams has a studio over off of, I want to say 79th in Halston. It's big warehouse industrial area that you don't see, but it's there, and I've been in there a few times filming. I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of things happening here in Chicago. Just got to get out and meet people.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about networking, I mean, I think that's really key in regards to who you connect with and also the right people to connect with. You know, there's always the good and bad of things, right? There's always the ones that say, hey, I just want to make the money now instead of trying to put the work in to be able to do it. And of course, when it comes to writing, did you do any like writing as like screenwriting as well for any movies or even for yourself, like for
I've got
movies?
a few producer credits on different types of things. I read this book, Story by Robert McKee, back in 2002. Just because it was put in my hands instead of the Sid Fields. I wanted to learn how to write. I wanted to watch the Sid Fields videotape. And VCR was eating it up, and my buddy was like, "Whoa, just read this book." You know, it's crazy. And so I was like, I don't want to read that big book, but I did. Had a glossary in the back. 2002, so I was still young at it. And I read the book. It took me a month, but I started. And it's a story by Robert McKee, and it talks about the philosophy of screenwriting. Yeah, it's not a how-to, but it talks about different genres, you know, art forms in screenwriting. It's for screenwriters. Okay. And so I figured, as an actor, if I know what the screenwriter is supposed to write, you know, to write a good Hollywood archetypical screenplay, it'll help me, which it did.
Nice.
You know, I know as an actor to turn scenes if I don't see the scene written to turn. Come in one way, find the climax in every scene, go out another. The world around me, the other characters, we're a galaxy. I'm the sun, and you could be my brother. You're the earth, and I nurture you. That guy over there is Mars. He could be my enemy. You know. That's my mother. I'm going to be sonly to her. You know, and this is my daughter. I'm going to be father. You know, so. That type of stuff. As the main character, I'll just be different with everyone as I be myself. And so many other things are in that book. And so for years, I've always thought, I want to write a screenplay, but never thought that I could write anything good enough. And to make a long story short, over at Second City, I took the intro to Screenwriting 1, Screenwriting Lab, and I had dialogue by Robert McKee sitting in the closet for a year or so. Right before I got to the Screenwriting Lab during the pandemic, I was taking classes online. I binged all 10 of those DVDs, you know, audio files.
Okay, yes.
And jumped in there and learned how to structure sentences and came out with a short film that is still in post. It was dealing with Black Lives Matter, because when we were sitting at home, you know, we were watching all of this. I was watching a lot of CNN, MSNBC, Fox, a little Fox. I was like, that's slanted. And everything's slanted, but and so I wrote a Black Lives Matter short dealing with the police, and it's still in post. But I got my buddy, the guy that got me hired at Second City, Vince Singleton, which he was a student, and I did his film back in 2005, his thesis film. He did his first feature a couple months ago, and of course he called me for that. I was like, that's right. That's how it works. And so he shot it. He shot in short, and eventually it'll make its way. But yeah, so I've written something.
Come on, man. I like that, man. That's love. You know, the reason why I'm kind of choked up now because I'm absorbing all of this energy and just intellect that you actually have and what you've been through to be able to make a movie if you wanted to, right? To be able to do some writing. And, 400 pages, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of pages to read. And within a month, it'd probably take me 6, because I have to reread it again.
And I was attempting to absorb this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it really helped. It really helped. It really did.
Did you have any? So a question was, Donna Marie Bird asked a question in film festivals in Chicago. And I think, yes, we're talking about also, film festivals in Chicago as well, too. So, yes, thank you, Donna, for that question. So when it comes to influences, because, we read and, of course, you have your teachers, is there any actors that you really look up to? Can be from earlier days, or it can be now, right? Is there any actors that actually influenced you within your career?
A lot of different actors have a lot of different styles. They bring their own thing to the camera.
Sure.
And so being an observer, we used to talk about this in my class with Ted Sarantos.
Yeah.
What is it that Samuel Jackson have? What is it that Robert De Niro has?
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins, Denzel, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
On and on. And so I see a piece of something in everybody.
Right.
Yeah. And so I've been compared to Denzel a bunch of times years ago, and I was auditioning for this film, Pieces of a Dream. I'm trying to tell this story fast. I just started studying with Ted in 2004.
Okay.
And I saw this audition after working on my training day monologue for about 3 months. He says, "Okay, Harold, that's enough. You got it. What else you want to do?" Then he gave me I said, "I don't know." He gave me a book, 5 Easy Pieces. And I read that monologue, just read it the first time in class. He says, "Harold, if you do that training day monologue and then turn around and do that 5 Easy Pieces monologue, they'll think you can do anything." And so I used that. After that, I started with him January 2004. By May, I was auditioning for this Robert Townsend cattle call out in the west suburbs.
Okay.
In line for 11 hours. And I ran into this guy, Paul Branton, that did a film in 1999 called Vacant Lot, and Ski Skinner, that screened at the Black Harvest Film Festival back then. And I remember sitting there in 99 looking at the screen with my acting troupe and guys from the blues play I was doing, saying, I would like to work with those guys one day. So at that Townsend cattle call 5 years later, there he is. And I says, I know you from somewhere. He was bringing his kids to audition. And then it came up, Fernando Jones, the blues play, Vacant Lot, the movie they did. And I was like, wow, that's that dude. And so I got to talking about it. He says, and I was like, here's my resume, and here's what I've been working on over the last 5 years since you saw me. It wasn't really anything on it. And but this is for Robert, and I have to give it to them. But yeah. And I says, yeah, I remember that film, Vacant Lot. He says, well, we're having auditions for our next film in August.
Nice.
I shut up because I was like, I got nervous. I was like, I don't want him to think I'm frantic. And on the inside, I'm like, this is 2004. And so I saw the quality of the film, Vacant Lot. And so the hours went on, And there was a guy that was trained at Second City, and I'm talking about all this training I'm doing with Ted Sarantos during the 11 hours. He's a young guy from Second City. He says, show me what you're working on. Show me what you're talking about. I took him to some part of the warehouse and I had worked the Intending Dream scene and the opposites. And so he went on in the room. I didn't get a chance to see that group. And when he came out, his sister says, I don't know what you told him, but that was the best I've ever seen. I was like,
wow.
That was the first acting tech. I helped someone. I was like, oh, I could teach this way back then. And so in that same audition, I finally went in. It was like 11 p.m. at night after being out in line since noon. Paul was in the room, Robert Townsend was in the room, they had the camera set up, and there was about 50 people in the room because it was the last and the end of the night. And so I got up and did that training day monologue. I was like, I was close to last. I was like, what now? Huh? What are you gonna do? You gonna shoot me? You gonna bust your cherry killer? Hit me. Bam, when I finished, people were like, ah! Because I was projecting. And it was middle of the night and I was big. So so he said August. So August came by, nothing. September, nothing. October, then at the end of October, Paul calls me and says, we're having auditions for our next film, Pieces of a Dream. down at Act One Studio. I was like, ooh, whatever I get in this film is going to put me on. This is '04, you know.
Yeah.
So I go down and audition, and Skeet, his partner's there, and he says, okay, you got a monologue? I was like, yeah, at training day monologue. I told him about it. And so he says, okay, here's the floor, take as much room as you need. That's what let me know that he wanted to see that. And so I says, you have a chair? And I pulled up a chair and I sat down and I did my 5 easy pieces monologue, projecting, but it was easy like this. I'm thinking, cry, cry. And so he says, okay. Then he gave me the sides for this bad guy Coop. And I laughed because I was like, I could do this. And I did it, I did it. And so it says, we'll call you. I'm like, oh, I've heard that before. So I went home. A week later, Paul calls me, and I'm almost done here now. Paul calls me and he says, well, we didn't give you the role as Coop, the bad guy, because we already have a guy from Vacant Lot that's got cornrows and the tattoos and blah, blah, blah. And I says, oh, okay. We want to offer you Father Shepherd Flockings, the priest.
The priest.
Like, what? And I had to, I was quiet because I had to, a priest. I've never done that before. And then I remembered the priest had the top credit in the whole movie.
Oh, wow. So that's like, kind of like the main role,
and
right?
I says, so I asked Paul, I says, Paul, why did you give me the role as Father Shepherd Flockings? Because I was amazed. And he says, because you reminded me of Forrest Whitaker. And that was pre-Last King of Scotland. Wow. I was like, yeah, okay.
What?
And so I've gotten different people. I don't know, it's that intention, tending dreams and opposites, the secrets, and stuff just happens organically without me attempting to act. Yeah. And different people see different things. And that's part of the training and techniques and stuff.
Good stuff, man. Oh, I like that. Wow. He got your Forrest Whitaker on the top credits. That's
so and like I said, the different actors have different things. Robert De Niro pulls people into the camera. Al Pacino pushes out. Denzel's suave. Forrest Whitaker's got that quiet rage. Samuel's got Samuel. So it's different.
They deserve to die.
Right? It's different. Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. Well, this goes into our next segment. Everybody, if you're tuning in, it's my man Harold Dennis on the Rico No Suave show. You already know I'm having a great time with you, man. I'm learning a lot. You're inspiring me. Not to become an actor, but just in case they want to put my show on film, I at least know I need to do a little bit of a technique standpoint. So, but when it comes to sizzle reels, of course, that's something that we have for our talk show. And for actors like yourself, you have a demo reel, right? But we have, we kind of cut the demo reel, but we do have a demo reel that we are going to show. It's about a minute and some seconds, everybody. But I want you guys to enjoy this. Everybody, this is my man, Harold Dennis. This is his demo reel. Here we go.
All right, Stevens, if you could mess around with one famous black woman, who would it be? Don't hold back either.
I'm not going to answer your question.
Man, loosen up. As you can see, there's nothing happening out here tonight. So try to have some fun. Let's see. I'd go for Angela Bassett. That is one fine woman. Outside! No!
Oh, I know you gonna sign.
Just go! What are you doing? What are you doing? Can you get up? Where's the device, Miss Frank?
Yeah, man. Hey, Congratulations, man. I love this demo reel. I mean, this is awesome. You know, even though there was more to it, right? And you guys got to go and check him out on YouTube, Harold Dennis. This is really awesome. 99 films on the wall, of course, if that's where you want to find more about him as well. But, you know, I have to say, when I watched the whole thing, I can definitely see the different, you know, like, because you played a soldier, right? And when you played the soldier, you also played a police officer, right? And then, of course, then you kind of played that bad guy, right?
Derelict husband, yeah. Real bad guy.
Real bad guy, right? And, you know, just with those three itself, I mean, you kind of like in a law enforcement, military, and things like that. And it's almost like you're giving yourself, you know, different characters of what you can actually play in general, right? And people are saying, wow, you know, that John T. Free said that looks painful. You know, I know that, you know, certain people, you know, when they're in character, you know, how did you feel just by the three that we actually played there with Judas Run and the other two? How did you feel playing those different roles?
Well, yeah, right now it's just read the script and get ideas and let them manifest, you know, go.
Yeah.
The Meisner technique, you know, prior to getting the start preparation prior to action, preparation to going out on stage. Yeah. That's the time to just lay back and think about what it is that I want to achieve, what it is, and then, you know, my other techniques that I've talked about a few times, and after reading the script and thinking on it, it's natural, and so the feeling is, okay, I have to be a ass, so who else do I know that is like that? Okay, yeah, him. Yeah. Right. Or imagine that I'm talking to one. You know, yeah. And match him. You know. Yeah. There's a lot of different things I could do. You know, and it's just different things. And one of the main things that I've learned is to make it personal. Different teachers teach that. If that one word is I'm getting shocked. You know, I was a real terrible guy. I make it personal. Right. Is there someone that I know that's like that? Yeah. Or is there someone that I would like to be like that too? Yeah. So I give myself permission to do it, and I just let loose, and it feels good when I'm free like that. I always say, the only time I can do anything like that is in the movies, and so, you know, it's a stress reliever. Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to definitely take that to the streets. You know what I mean?
You can't take it to the streets.
You can't take it to the streets at all. That's awesome, man. Congratulations on that. I think that's, you know, being an actor and being able to portray yourself to be able to do things like this. It takes a lot, though. It takes a lot to be able to get into that zone, to get into that feeling, and then being able to put it on screen and then make people feel what you're feeling, right? Or make them feel a different way, the opposite way you're feeling.
And that's the most important thing. Yeah. Allow the audience to feel. Yeah. So I had one philosophy from a teacher says, I don't care. Over at ETA, the late Coro Harold Johnson, my first teacher, used to say, you got to feel it. It's got to radiate to the other person, theater. And it radiates out to the audience. And so I spent my first 6 years feeling it, feeling. And then I got with Ted back in 2004. He says, I don't care if you feel it. Make the audience feel it. Yeah. And back in '98, I was talking to my buddy Kenny Young. We started the acting troupe. He says, HD, what is it that you want? You want to do commercials? You want to do TV? I says, I want to be in people's movies. And so over the years, I've manifested that in a big way. Yeah. And then it turned into, I want to make my audience feel. How do I do that? I asked the question, then the book Story by Robert McKee came along in 2002. Then I started studying with Ted. And that's why I stayed with him so long, because I wanted to be able to take what he's got and take it with me. And he retired in 2020. He got elderly in '88. And so I basically took the mantle, took the torch, and I give away what he's been teaching all these years. And I went to see him a couple days ago in the nursing home.
Okay.
And he remembered me, so happy. You know, he was happy to see me and myself and a couple other actors that came.
What's his name again?
Ted Saranto.
Ted Saranto.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
big shout out to you, my man. Yeah. Much love. So, you know, I definitely want to get this in because I know we're down to a few minutes of fame around here. You know, I know it's almost over. It's almost over. Tell us more about the Sanford Meisner technique. How did this transform your craft?
You know, with Sanford Meisner, I took it over at Green Shirt back in 2011, 2012, the level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there were 10-week terms. And it's the first thing you do is that mirror exercise, repeat, connect, get that chord from me to you, see that chord, connect. And then, you know, there's the reading the script, reading it, the very beginning of it, the classes, monologue, then the other person comes back and does it. And then there's the next step was get the words, make eye contact, now deliver the words. They go down, get the words, come back up, make eye contact. So it's all about connection. And I thought that was a great thing so that I can feel how to connect. But then, like I was saying, there's so many different techniques. The guy that I've been studying with last year in LA, he's like, A-list actors are not necessarily connecting, and I'm paraphrasing. You know, and this guy last night even said it. You're on your own path, and they are coming along. I'm paraphrasing. They're coming along with you. You do your own thing, and I found myself doing that years ago anyway. Yeah. And they have to come with you, you know, and then you know there's something there, but I have my own agenda. Yeah. Yeah. So many techniques. Yeah.
Man, how many? I mean, you know, I'm assuming there's a lot of techniques to be able to learn when it comes to acting because it also connects you as far as personally, because it's a psychological thing too, right? I would assume that, you know, if someone is a shy person and they don't have confidence to really get into front of the camera, there's a technique to bring that out of someone that really wants to get out of that whole shelter type feel and say, hey, I just don't want to be, you know, have a role where I'm a shy guy or I'm a nerd or something like that. And then you have someone that's actually like bold, like that has a lot of confidence, but you have to tone that down in order to have that technique to be able to do so. I guess that's a good thing about being a teacher as well, to be able to know how to pick those different types of, how can I say, characteristics and bring those down to a certain level and say, hey, I know you're big and bold, but I'm gonna bring you into a more calm guy, right? And to be able to bring that down.
So just say the words. Don't do anything. Just say them.
Yeah.
Now, how did that feel? You know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
A shy person, and Ted used to do this. Okay, are you ready to go up? This is your first time, this is your first class. Okay. When you're ready, go ahead and sit down in front of the class. Now, take some deep breaths and relax. And look at the people that are looking at you. What color is his suit? What color is his shoes? What color is his eyes? You know, now breathe. Now, when you're ready, go ahead and talk. Now, and then he'll ask, so on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most fear and 0 being less fear, how do you feel now? What number would you give? Okay, great. Then do some more. Now, how much do you feel?
That's hard.
So he'd calm people down, and I watched him do that. Yeah.
That is so cool.
It was a philosophy class. After everybody worked on their stuff for class, and he'd videotape us for years. Videotape, say, okay, Harold, nose to the camera, eyes, smiling eye, talk to the mic, and when you're ready, project and action, and take it home and watch it a minimum of 3 times. So, you know, I know what I look like on camera.
Yeah.
You know, and for years. He did that for all of us. That's why I took his class. I was like, I need that. Back in 03, I sat in. Yeah. Then in 04, January, I started and never left until he quit, you know, retired.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's awesome, man. We're down to the last 3 minutes of fame, baby, and I got something for you. I got a shirt, my man. I have a shirt. Yes, I have this shirt. This shirt right here, of course, and I'm glad that you look surprised because I didn't know if you knew you were going to get one.
But no idea.
Hey, you know, this shirt means a lot to us, giving this to you because you being an actor and being in the industry for 25 plus, right, of years, but learning the art, the techniques, and also from a lot of people that actually helped you on the journey, but also you help people on their journey as well too. From the sizzle reel or the demo reel that you've actually been, putting together, basically tells us what you're passionate about. So I want to welcome you to the Rico No Suave show team. Let's go. Yeah, baby. Let's go.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Are you in a fraternity?
No.
Because this is an iota
I
class.
know.
I'm a Kappa, yo.
I am in a frat, but it's in Alabama, so it's Zeta Alpha Gamma Psi. So I am,
okay.
So
So you knew the colors.
I knew the colors, yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome, man. You're very welcome, man. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to put up your social media. We want to make sure we put up his social media for everybody that needs to get in contact with my man, 99 Films on the Wall. Yes, you will be able to find him on Facebook. And tu sabes, mi gente, let's get to that next one as well, too. You already know 99 Films on the Wall on Instagram. Make sure you go to Instagram and make sure you go ahead and follow him there. You'll see a lot of his dialogue, you see the monologue, you see whatever he puts out there for you to be able to, comment and just like and love and criticize if you need to and say, hey, I want to see more of this. Forget the villain stuff. I want to see more of the comedy guy, as well too. And then we have the next one. Here we go. We got YouTube. Yes. Make sure you go to YouTube. Subscribe to his channel, everybody. Subscribe to his channel. Make sure you click on those notifications. Make sure you are there to make sure you support my man, Harold Dennis. We got the last one. It is Twitter. Yes, twitter.com. 99 Films on the Wall. Twitter is just basically, he'll say hi, what's going on, what everybody's doing, and then that's it. He'll post some photos if we need to post some photos out there. But that's what it's all about. My man, thank you so much for being on the show with us today. I hope you had a good time.
I really did. Thank you.
That's awesome, man. Hey, of course, we'll have you back, within a year to see how you're doing. Make sure you come back on the show so we can see. I might have you on the red carpet. The red carpet might be around the corner.
Cold and windy.
Everybody put your hands together for my man, Harold Dennis. All right, everybody, we got to get out of here. You already know I am super happy to actually have my guest on the show, but we got to show you our social media, everybody. Our social media, www.riconosuaveshow.com is where you'll find us in all of the archives. The next one is Instagram. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Rico No Suave Show. Do it now. Yes, follow us. The next one is Facebook brought us back. Yes, Facebook, Rico No Suave Show. Make sure you go ahead and like and love everything we're doing there. The next one is YouTube, baby. Yes, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Do it now. Subscribe to the channel. You'll find everything about what we're doing, the shorts and all that great stuff. Here's the last one. Mixcloud.com/Rico No Suave Show. Yes. Make sure you go ahead and turn on that audio because it will turn into a podcast after this. Everybody, want to thank you guys so much for being on the show with us. And then, of course, next week we have none other than the awesome actress. We have Jacqueline Murphy on the actual show. All right, everybody, we'll see you guys next time as we end off the show. Just like this.